Here's a picture of my AMD65. This one was from a Classic Firearms parts kit. Just wanted to show you what the Toth tools, you know, what the rivets look like once you're done, assembling. There's a few marks here and there. The rivets sat pretty good. I mean, they're maybe not 100% perfect, but even on the Zastava AK that I have, they're not exactly perfect. Some people make a big fuss about rivets, but there's seating right, doing their job, or just being out of spec. But all these I put in myself. They didn't turn out too bad. This is my first AK build. I put the automatic rail on there. Want to put a front dot forward of the rear sight. That way it'd be a little quicker, sighting in and shooting. This had that populated barrel, forget what it was, 4140 I think. And I put it on a Childers receiver. Put my truss there in case I want to chop the barrel later. File for the paperwork. I had to put on the fake stamp. I just figured it would be a nice touch. The Hungarian markings are there for the Selector. I'll show that in a second. I had the serial number match the trunnion, which is nice about Childers. The Ultimac rail's $110 with shipping. A little pricey, but at the same time, it's not too bad. It's doable if you want it. Push the button down here, retracts the locking from the rear folder. Locks up real good. And there's those markings. Nice and tactile right there when you use the selector switch, so you know where you're at. This particular one will fire when it's in the full auto mode. Without being full auto, still be a single shot. I got the Century Rack 1 trigger kit in here, which is okay. It's not great, but it's not bad. I had to change this recoil button right here, the recoil spring assembly. Sorry about that. Just wasn't working properly, so I found a replacement. Put an ALG spring on there, gives it more tension. There's that hammer. It's got the slicker profile. Some people like that. I don't think it matters to me personally. Just wanted to show you the rivets so you know what to expect. The website, if you go to Toth Tools, they sell those Polish ones. I used that on my second build. They came out a little bit better because the rivet button heads aren't quite as big, so you don't get that little ring on the bottom, because when you're when you're using the tools. Let me show you the seating point in here. It's a little bit shallower than the AK Builder rivets, so once all the meat's compressed, it'll push down and form that little secondary ring, which you can kind of see right here. Just did a little bit. You'll get a little bit of that, but the seat's in there properly. This is my little toolbox. Got a few reamers. Every AK is different. I wasn't sure what that meant until I started building these things, and then I found out that every part is not manufactured the same. Needs a little bit of fitting. Here's my little rivet press. Other pieces. This cycle get chewed up pretty good. You go through, well, this is 4 barrels so far, but I had to take them on and off a few times, so you know, still usable. This part's aluminum. This head part's aluminum on the brass. It won't mess up your barrel. You got a replacement kit. Here's one of those guys. You may need some of these drills. You just never know until you're into the kit what the kit's going to need. Just put it in my old toolbox. Label your stuff so you know what it is. Not labeled, I just got this one in. It's another little reamer. It's an oversized front sight pin and gas block. That's what that's used for. This is one of those Harbor Freight Pittsburgh 24-inch bolt cutter, right there on the label. Works pretty good. For the price, you really, you know, you can't go wrong there. .20 rounders fit the best. I guess a 10 would, but 30 is kind of a pain in the butt. You'll definitely mar it up right around in here if you do that. This rear life, my bad. My rear sight leaf right here is a little bit canted because these holes here weren't drilled correctly. They were off center a little bit on each side and on the wrong side. So this guy would lean a little bit to the left. Well, I shoot with the red dot, so it really doesn't matter there. I had that planned before I knew it was all crooked there. But this is a good rifle. Some of the problems you'll have with these will vary from rifle to rifle. These kits, sometimes they're used, sometimes they're not used, and if they're not used, sometimes there's a reason why they weren't used. Let me pop this guy back on real quick. It's a little bit of pain in the butt. Need 2 hands for this. Alright, we're back. Just want to show you what you get with the Toth tools. It will definitely allow you to build one. Sometimes you'll be a little disappointed with the rivets, but I don't have room for a press. This is what I have to work with. A little inexpensive, wind drill press. This was from Harbor Freight. That one seems to work okay when I have to sand down some metal pieces or remove rivets. That disc there will take rivets off pretty quick off of a parts kit that hasn't been demilled all the way, and you gotta remove the old receiver. You're not gonna hurt the trunnion in the or any other part that has another piece of metal protecting it, so you just grind it off real quick. Then you can drill out and pop out the rivets. That's for some of those imperfections that the rifle comes with. Sometimes you gotta drill something. Well, that's my quick setup. First ARs I built right there. You might be like, well, why is it green? Well, why is it green? It's because I use this on it. So even though it's dark parkerized gray, from Brownells, it's quite a bit on the green side, and I kind of wanted a green rifle, but I thought it would be more parkerized gray than green, which definitely doesn't match the cap, but there's some complaints on YouTube about that. Move on over to my AR pistol. Just have a heavier recoil spring in there, running a carbine buffer. He's a bit heavy with that suppressor on there, but I didn't want another black AR, so if I'm grabbing something it's different color, I kind of know what it is before I even really notice its profile. Just a quick look at the suppressor. Got one of those advanced armament. Tax stamp took 11 months to come back, but I figured 11 months is better than spending 2 years thinking about it. Cheap flip up iron sights in case you need them. Do the 6 Sauer Romeo 5 on there, which is a really good red dot. Batteries last a really long time for about $120. It's really decent. Mark all my magazines for this one because I typically shoot 5.56 out of that, so I know what it is. In case I got 2.23, it'll be in some different magazines. I can kind of have some expectation of what I'm using. Well, the AR wasn't supposed to be really part of this, but it was there. Again, the rivets, if you're interested in what a Toth tool rivets look like, these are good ones. You really have to apply the pressure and the seating at the same time, or you'll seat them and the button will be out too far. And if you can put your fingernail under them, that's not seated very correctly. Well, these are all pretty tight. If you got any questions, throw them my way. You can pretty much answer anything about the Toth tools. I had 4 AKs with it, doing 2 more at some point. It's just I'm not motivated right now. Well, I just want to share that with you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you think it looks good. Other than that, I'm out. Have a good one.